Daniel, this is Gary Keller. We're here to talk about My Outdesk. First off, start off and give me the short 1 to 2 minute explanation of what a virtual assistant is from your point of view.
About 3-4 years ago, and I was at a conference, and somebody said, if you're doing your own paperwork, you're an assistant. You're basically saying you're worth, what an assistant gets paid. Are you worth $10 an hour or $12 an hour? And as a mega agent, most people understand the value of leverage. And you've pointedly said, focus on leads, look at listings, and then look at leverage. And a lot of really, really good agents are great at generating business. But once it gets in the door, they need help. In my opinion, there's 3 areas that a virtual assistant can really be, impactful to a real estate agent and their office. One is on the admin side. Transaction coordination, that's inputting MLS, that's taking care of all the paperwork, kind of mundane stuff. What's cool about the personal admin person is that you can also use them on a personal side. So my wife's birthday is coming up this weekend on Wednesday. She wants to go to a comedy show in her favorite restaurant downtown, and so I sent over a link to my VA, my virtual assistant, and said, buy 6 tickets, make reservations at this restaurant, go. And so from what a virtual assistant can do, that's a really cool example on the personal and on the business side, just organizing your life.
On the admin side, what's the second one?
So the second one, which we all need, is the marketing side, and that's like social media, creating your 33 touches, doing videos, flyers, all that kind of stuff that drives business. And social media and video is such a big push. I know KW's got a video division now, and I think everybody understands that the growth in real estate is online marketing and having a great presence there and being able to capture those leads. And so there's a lot of repetitive work that goes into creating that marketing machine. And so that's another area that a virtual assistant can help.
Now, you used the phrase repetitive work. Was that significant when you said that? Is that the way that we view a virtual assistant's highest and best use is repetitive work?
Whenever you have an hourly employee who's not paid on commission, repetitive work is creating that machine that you can depend on. That's always key. And the virtual assistants, their strength is taking a program that you've created and then running with it. You can have them in a specific role where they excel, and that's kind of how we view our virtual assistants. The repetitiveness, the system, the process, the coach is the agent, the player is the virtual assistant. They can be used in many different things, but they shine, just like you said, they shine when it's a systematic, repetitive, kind of machine-driven task.
Got it. And the third thing was?
The third one is the whole sales support side. I mean, it's such an important part of what we do today, making calls, talking to clients. And so we've created a leads coordinator position, or an ISA. And what's interesting, so just some basic statistics here, 80% of all sales are made between the 5th and the 12th contact. So most agents are really good at making 2 or 3 contacts to someone. This is something that was put out by the National Association of Realtors probably 3 years ago. What it basically says is that most sales people need to make a consistent follow-up program. And this is R&D, rip off and redistribute from our company. I think I saw it on a blog post 3 years ago from another agent. And it's just a really good testament that you've got to keep in contact with your clients. Who's interested today may or may not buy, but if you talk with them over 6 months, create rapport, develop a relationship, show them value, make them feel like they're important and cared for, you're most likely going to get a sale out of that transaction. The difficult part for a salesperson is doing all those follow-up calls, providing all that value over time. So we've created a position within our virtual assistant company called an ISA, an inside salesperson. And that's when you're using our model, an agent can get on the phone, start building that rapport, set an appointment, gather the details, and then all they had to do, they didn't have to make 24,000 calls. They didn't have to make 4,322 conversations. They had 350. And this is spread about 40 different clients. So they only had to talk to that person who raised their hand and said, I'm ready to list today, or I'm ready to buy today. And that's an important, powerful tool.
So what are your biggest ahas that you've had from agents using virtual assistants?
So when somebody calls us, you just jump on our website, myoutdesk.com. You call our 1-800 number, or you fill out a lead form on our website. You get put into a queue, and then we actually have a coaching. It's a free coaching session. And it's actually really a good thing because most people call us and they ask simple questions like, what time does a virtual assistant work? If they're 16 hours ahead, do they work my schedule or their schedule? And so we answer all the basic, housekeeping questions, but at the same time, we dive into their office and we find out who they have in currently. We identify talent versus non-talent on their current team, and then we look for the holes within the company, like where are they dropping the ball. My biggest aha is that without that piece, the virtual assistant side doesn't typically work. In the beginning, we just didn't know it was necessary, and so that's been one of the biggest ahas for us.
What do you think the biggest mistake that an agent makes when they hire a virtual assistant?
We look at this as an overall leverage piece, and when we're doing our consultations or when we're at a team meeting for any office, we're really talking about, in your triangle, the leads, listings, and leverage, we're really talking about leverage. And so the biggest mistake I think that agents make is to assume that that's not as important as the other sides of the triangle.
Leverage is a business concept, and it's a whole new discipline. It's not related to leads and listings. So you can go and study real estate all you want, and it's going to deal with those first two. The problem or challenge that every real estate agent has, all of their success as a real estate agent doesn't qualify them one iota to be successful in hiring someone. It's like studying one field and then trying to do something else.
I think the difficulty is if an agent focused on generating as many leads on the leverage side as they did on the real estate side, then that problem of finding talent wouldn't be an issue.
What you just said is the keys to the kingdom. That's the step that every real estate agent has to ask themselves, am I ready to make? Because the problem is that when you decide to generate leads for leverage and you decide to master that, you've now agreed to do two things. You've agreed to be a real estate agent and a business person. And that's like having two masters. That's taking on two roles, and something's going to have to give. And usually people don't even realize that that's the issue staring at them.
We wanted to be able to offer high-quality people over in the Philippines and give them an option that they don't have in their country. And so we pay our virtual assistants 2 times the standard income over there. We give them health care. We give them vacation time. We do 2 conferences a year. So we give them more incentive to stay with their clients for a long time period because turnover is the enemy of the leverage piece of the business. And what's cool about that is it's like paying a cell phone bill. It's a great option to supplement your current leverage piece within your office. And that's kind of our mantra right now.
Well, Daniel, this has been awesome. So last thing, and that is if I was listening to this today and I wanted to contact My Outdesk, how would I do that?
MyOutdesk.com is the website. You can watch videos there. So it's a really great resource if you have some questions. You can call us at 1-800-583-9950 during business hours, and we're gonna set that consultation up with a licensed realtor who's had hundreds of these exact same consultations.
Daniel Ramsey, it's been fun. My Outdesk. Thanks a lot.